Ooh. Today on Renovation Nation, a Minnesota man is renovating his Victorian home with siding that doesn't use trees.
Have you ever used wood? I'm too young to know what wood is, Steve.
But he may be trying a little too hard to keep his original stairway banisters.
They have all these nicks and scars, and you're not going to try to hide these, are you?
We're not going to try and hide the scars.
This would drive me nuts if I was assigned the task of trying to blend all this together, because you've got all these nicks and dings.
Then, a Colorado family is having a few battles over the green design of their new home.
So, how does an aeronautical engineer and a interior designer at heart get together and agree on building the ultimate greenhouse without killing each other?
Well, we haven't killed each other yet, thankfully.
Oh, the yet part.
And their geothermal heating and cooling can turn out the lights on the whole project.
And he wears the rubber gloves, too.
And he blows the fuse. And an International Green Building Expo lets me hold the future in the palm of my hand.
So you never have to worry about condensation. Mold and mildew won't grow in it.
Wow.
It's a neat product.
Our nation has a challenge. How do we renovate our homes in a way that's in sync with the planet? I'm Steve Thomas, and together we'll find the answers on Renovation Nation.
I'm in St. Paul, Minnesota. Harvey Sherman has always had a passion for houses. He currently owns a pair of Victorian homes that are right next door to each other. And he's completing a green rehab on one of them to create an example of his design-build firm's sustainable work.
There are so many things that, as an architect, I really wasn't cognizant of. Sitting in the office, making drawings and not being out on the building site. If one were to build a new house, it would be much easier to make it very green than it is a remodel.
Today I'll help Harvey install cementitious siding on the house and restore the interior stairway banister to bring back its original look and charm.
Here in St. Paul, Minnesota, Harvey Sherman is an architect who runs a design-build firm. And in addition to the standard fare, loft renovations and so on, his passion is to buy old houses and fix them up, balancing green renovation with historic restoration. Let's go see what he's working on. Harvey? Hey, Steve Thomas.
How are you? Very nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Steve Thomas.
Ben Jans.
Ben, good to meet you. So you're an architect who runs a design-build firm.
I'm an architect and a contractor, and I'm the homeowner in this case as well.
Lucky you. So, Ben, how are you associated with this motley crew?
I work for Harvey as a project manager and lead carpenter.
All right. Ben, we'll catch up with you later.
Sounds good.
Harvey, give me the tour.
Okay.
And then we'll get to work. I'm noticing, just stepping up on your deck, this is an add-on here?
The back 4 feet is an add-on.
So this was a gut rehab. I mean, this is all brand new from the looks of it.
So we gutted the entire back half, both stories of the house, took all of the sheetrock off, all of the siding off, or all of the plaster off, rather. There was some sheetrock. And then we added 4 feet to the house, and we jacked up the entire back part of the house as far as we could.
Thus discovering, once again, the 3 most expensive words in renovation. Might as well.
Those 3 words have cost me probably $100,000
Then you got away cheap.
on this project. Yeah.
All right, so this is new. Kitchen's obviously brand new.
Kitchen's brand new.
Now, you're using this as kind of a model of green renovation
It's a demonstration
restoration.
project for what the work that we do, yes.
Enumerate some of the green features.
Geothermal heating and cooling. There are 4 wells out in the driveway. We have a heat pump in the basement. All of the wood on the floors and the trim is either locally sourced, which means it's sustainably harvested, or it's FSC. The walnut on the cabinets is all FSC certified. As I said, we wanted to keep the feeling of an old house.
So as an architect and a green builder, you are not afraid to mix new technologies and new materials with a historic house.
Not at all. That was part of our goal, was to have the most current technologies in terms of energy efficiency and use of materials.
Cool. The day is marching on, so I think we should get to work.
Let's get to work.
We head outside to start our first project, residing the house, where we're using a synthetic material instead of wood.
Before the lumber barons cut down all the forests, this was all what, pine around here?
It was hardwood and pine, yes.
Yeah.
The pine was a little bit further north, but probably mostly hardwood in this area.
So when these houses were built, they were built out of local materials.
Pretty much local, yes.
The siding, and now you're using cementitious siding.
Correct.
Was originally pine?
It was pine.
And the trim as well? You think was pine?
Yep.
I have to say that the new pine is garbage. I mean, I've used a lot of it on my house. You get about 5 years out of it, it rots, you pull it off, you have to replace it.
I would agree with you.
I mean, all of us have been forced to go to synthetic materials or man-made composite materials to get longevity out of it.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're just duplicating your labor. You're taking all that stuff you put on the house, you're throwing it away in 5 years, and you have to start again. Now, you are using one traditional material, which is what we used to call tar paper, builder's felt, and you're putting the new siding system on top of this. But it's a double layer, so any wind-driven rain that finds its way through the siding system and through the first layer of builder's felt will drain out through the little space in
and
between.
condensation that might build up inside of the wall hopefully will build up in between the two layers.
So let's put some up. Sounds good. All right.
Ben and I start by installing siding on a wall section that already has builder's felt in place.
Now, this stuff has become pretty much the standard. How much wood siding do you guys install these days? Any?
We do wood siding on a client's request.
Otherwise, it's cementitious.
Yep, we definitely prefer the cementitious just for its durability.
So it's become so much the standard that they've got special nails, purpose-built for cement siding.
Yep, 2 1/4 ring shank nails.
And special blades developed just to cut this stuff.
Yep.
These days, it's the standard. Have you ever used wood?
I'm too young to know what wood is, Steve.
They make pencils out of it.
Oh, very nice.
We move up higher to another section that still has some old builder's felt on the wall. Before we hang the siding, we'll cover up this section with a new layer.
Why are you using this and not some of the fancy plastic stuff?
As you can see, that's what they used when they built this house 115 years ago, and there's some of that that's still on the house. It's a bit brittle, but still intact,
Still in good shape?
as you can see.
Still smells like tar. We're using a hammer tacker. This is kind of a hammer type stapler, just to hold it up there until we can get the siding on there.
With the builder's felt in place, the cementitious siding is straightforward to install.
Well, it might be the latest and greatest in synthetic siding, but it looks pretty darn good.
I think so.
Yeah. It'll hold paint, it'll last a long time, it won't rot, and you don't have to cut down trees to put it.
That's right. It'll be here for decades.
All right, looks good.
Coming up, restoring the home's interior banister doesn't look like a simple job.
So you got to try to make it all look like it belongs together.
Right,
Make it look old,
right,
but make it look good,
right.
or else he's not going to pay you.
Correct.
For more about cementitious siding, check out planetgreen.com.
I'm in St. Paul, Minnesota, helping Harvey Sherman restore his old Victorian home by installing durable cementitious siding. But while Harvey has chosen a long-lasting alternative to wood for the home's exterior, he wants to keep the interior closer to its original character. So we're moving on to our next project, restoring the interior stairway banister.
The only intact part of the house is the staircase here. The moldings are still intact. The railing system is still intact. So I guess that's why you decided to try to save it, even though it's going to cost you some dough.
It's a very important piece of the house.
It's the historical center of the house.
It's the one piece that really shows the history of this house.
So you had to pull it apart,
Yes?
get it stripped,
Yes?
and put it back together.
Exactly.
Parts of this were stripped and parts of it weren't.
The part that's still here was not stripped. The only part we stripped was the pieces that you have in your hand. There's 13 of them.
So now the trick is to match the color, because the balusters were stripped down to bare wood. these still have the patina of age. You know, they have all these nicks and scars, and you're not going to try to hide these, are you?
We're not going to try and hide the scars. The wood in the balusters is a different type of wood than in the newel posts, so we're not going to match the color exactly.
So who's doing the finishing?
Paige Lee.
She's out on the porch. Here she is, Paige, and friend.
Yep.
You have your assistant.
Yep.
So how are you matching the existing color, or even trying to match the existing color, the wood that was not stripped?
We picked a color that was a medium tone in the wood, original wood, and we went from
Show
there.
me what you mean. So this would drive me nuts if I was assigned the task of trying to blend all this together, because you've got all these nicks and dings. You got one color here, another color here, another color here, another color here, another color here. So you got to try to make it all look like it belongs together.
Right.
Make it look old,
Right.
but make it look good.
Right.
Or else he's not going to pay you.
Correct.
So, how did you get started?
We picked a color that he liked, and
What did you choose?
I chose this middle handrail.
So that was your control color.
And I've enhanced it since we started, but it was really close to that.
That sets the tone for the whole thing. Then you had to select stains that brought all the different colored woods back to that tone.
Right, and gave it depth.
Show me what you chose.
All right.
Paige and I head back outside to take a look at the first stain she applied.
All right, so how did you blend all of these different wood species and ages and weathered conditions together to make it look good?
Well, I took, on the spindles, because they're butternut, I used a cedar tone water-based stain.
Paige stains a few so I can see how they'll turn out.
So anything special about this stain?
You have to work fast with it because it's a water base, so it dries quickly.
Now, do you wipe it down?
Yep.
Okay. That pops the grain back out.
Yep.
But reconstructing the railing system means using old wood from the original railing, as well as parts made from new wood. And each requires a different blend of stain.
So this capstock is made out of fir.
Yep.
It's brand new wood. You have to treat that a little bit differently than everything else to try to get it all to blend together, right?
Right.
Get the right tone.
Get the right tone.
So what did you use for this?
I used the cedar tone
Yeah.
and a walnut stain.
Let's mix some up and apply it.
Paige mixes the stains, and we check to see that we're staying consistent with the color of the middle handrail.
So let's see how you did.
All right.
You confident?
Yes.
You're confident. Okay. Now you can darken this up. I mean, the beauty of this stuff is you can add another layer and darken it up.
You can always make it darker.
Just can't make it lighter.
Right.
When we've got the color of the new wood finalized, there's one last element that needs to get stained, the old posts inside.
The secret is work a little bit at a time, finish a section, move on,
Right.
and once you're done, walk away.
Hopefully.
Don't try to play with it. or
No,
else you'll
don't
mess
play
it up.
with it. Not with the water-based stain.
Don't play with it.
Don't play with it.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Words of wisdom. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Paige is done with the staining, but Ben and I still have one more step. Put all the different pieces of the banister, both old and new, back into place.
So we've got everything stained, everything's finished.
Ready to go.
Ready to put this system back together?
Yeah, let's do it.
So you've numbered everything, right?
Yes. Start high at the top and go down to 1 at the bottom.
Once the new base pieces are in, we put up the first baluster.
That is a plumb baluster if I've ever seen one.
The rest of the balusters go in just as easily, and soon the banister is fully reassembled.
You want to put one more in there? Are you happy?
I'm happy, Steve.
All right.
I think that's
it.
a wrap.
That looks great. Looks like it's always been like that.
Harvey Sherman is creating a seamless blend of green renovation and restoration in his Victorian home. And when he's done, he will have achieved a fine example of how to bridge the past and the present.
I admire your commitment to green and to keeping these old houses going. And remember the 3 most expensive words in renovation.
Might as well.
Ben, good luck to you.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. See you guys.